spawning here in the bottom right of Catalina, representing Root for Root, it is MaSa. And his opponent, actually recently teamless, but a legend of at least Wings of Liberty and even in Heart of the Swarm a bit. It is the Blue Zerg player, Dongregu, or DRG, what he likes to go by. And I like it. DRG, one of my favorite players of all time as well. And yesterday we had J-Dong, so there could be a battle of the Dongs in the playoffs, actually. It is definitely a possibility if he did finish second place in the group, so depending on if he feels like doing that or not, I feel like DRG is one of the favorites to potentially make it out first place. He is in a group that has some pretty scary players in it, though, so, you know, we haven't seen as much out of DRG. But MaSa, that guy, you always see him coming out of nowhere, being able to put up some really, really nice games, and TVZ is his best matchup, at least what I think so. From what I've seen, he did beat Puck in the Season 2 finals, which was a TVP. So showing that he's pretty good just all around. But every time I think of MaSa, and when he just looks like he's in his best form, it is usually in that TVZ matchup, because he does it pretty cleanly and will like to take control of the game. So we'll see if he does that this game, as Dongregu is going to be going in for this hatchery first, into the gas, right into that spawning pool, while MaSa is going to go for that Reaper. And that's something pretty typical, not only in the TVZ matchup, but for the map Catalina, and this is even more typical to make another Reaper. We'll see if he goes up to 3, as being very aggressive with those Reapers on this map can be pretty devastating to a Zerg if they don't know how to deal with it. I know that Dongregu is pretty good at dealing with stuff like that, but MaSa sometimes will add a little bit of flavor to his Reaper harassment. Don't see an SCV there, so there won't be any type of bunker. But this Reaper is going to be a little bit annoying here. Uh-oh, going to pop out. It's 4 Lings to make the Reaper have to do a little dance around, get a bit of a scout. Not really much to see here, though, as DRG is already taken out of the gas. Cancels those Spore Crawlers, making sure not to complete them, as he only did it to save the drone, but he might even lose a drone here. Oh, man, really risky business here. MaSa, though, needs to be very careful. He might lose this Reaper. Oh, but the second Reaper is going to come, though. Oh, my God, it is so close. My God. But now the Queen is off creep, and he might go for those weakened drones again, but DRG is really, really quick with that. So it's always a fun time in TVZ, this stage of the game, to see how it is going to be going. And MaSa not losing that Reaper makes this really annoying for DRG. But I like that MaSa did not commit to it too hard. He didn't make that third Reaper, I don't believe. As he goes back home, has that reactor coming down. The factory is already complete, and a third command center coming down around that 5-minute 30 mark. So he's going up into that macro game, and MaSa is usually a player that will follow up an aggression with another form of aggression, and to another form of aggression, until eventually you tap out. But it looks like he's going to go right into that third command center, and he's only on 1 gas, so we're not going to see any kind of Banshee. And I always wonder, too, if you can do any type of push, even with the third command center. We've seen some Terrans do it, even only being on 1 gas. So we'll see if he plays it out super standard, or if he is going to try something a little bit different. It's really nice to see here. MaSa is not scared of DRG. He's going right into that macro game, and he feels like he can take him straight up. So right back at home for MaSa, though, is going to be those Hellions getting ready to go. With the assistance of 2 Reapers, they should be able to do a little bit of an annoying creep denial. And DRG is just now taking his third. Just a little bit late, but you can't really blame him, because it was 2 Reapers that did come out there. So he is going to go into the macro game himself. At least that's what it looks like. You never know. Sometimes that can only be for Larva. But MaSa is not taking any chances right now. He's got a bunker at home as he does move on out, in case DRG decides to make a bunch of Lings and has to have maybe like a Baneling nest in the background. These are the things that MaSa is going to try to scout with, because he doesn't know what's going on just yet. He assumes a pretty standard TVZ. He saw that DRG pulled out of gas, so that's exactly what he's thinking of. And Reaper is going to go in. It's not a bad thing that it died, though. It is there to scout, making sure that just like Baneling Nest was not up already, but sometimes, even in this matchup, you will see that Baneling Nest get up, just because of the potential of a Hellbat push. DRG has not scouted the main of MaSa yet. You know, sometimes you would see the Zerg player do that, in order to make sure that they're not going Banshee or something like that either. And there's no Spore Crawler. I mean, the lair hasn't even started yet, so if it was Banshee, it would be up to these 4 Queens to deal with it, but without even a Spore Crawler, that could be very risky business here for DRG, especially in these spawn positions as well. So Baneling Nest is about to complete, double Evo chamber, and after those upgrades do go down, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see that lair. 4 queens are going to be what DRG uses to deal with this little squad of units here that MaSa does have. And I don't think he's going to get too crazy with them. There's really nothing there for him to roast yet at the third. But these queens, if those Hellions are feeling brave, they can dart right past them and get some drone kills. But that would expose him for some kind of counterattack. So with that third command center, I don't know if he would really want to do that. He wants to set up for that macro game, get it going on. He already has stim completed, I think. Yep, stim is done. Combat shield is on the way. Double engineering bay as well. And he's just setting it up. So I'm a little bit excited to see how these two players will clash in this match. And we'll see how this game 1 dictates the rest of the series, perhaps. No, Scouting Overlord did go on in for DRG, confirms the third command center. And he also saw, this was a little bit earlier by the way, he saw the building barracks. That was there too, so he does at least assume that it's bio, and we'll go ahead and get that lair. +1/+1 upgrades, and he is supply blocked actually, and he's just gonna be making a few lings. MaSa probably doesn't realize that DRG is supply blocked. It's very scary to go on to creep, so he's doing his best to just deny it. There is a huge flood of lings that are going on the left side of the map, but the third base isn't landed here for MaSa yet, but that is a lot of banelings. Oh my god, he's actually just going to morph a bunch of banelings. MaSa's taking the forward base, so he doesn't even see this coming. This is kind of an awkward situation when your army is right in between there, as there's really not a lot here for MaSa, and he's actually moving out. This could be a perfect time for DRG to strike. He is by surpassing, I don't even know what he's doing. Yeah, he's just going all around the whole map right now, avoiding MaSa's vision, and he's going on into the natural, go the banelings. And now MaSa has to scramble. What is he going to do? He has 3 command centers, but a lot of damage can be done here. MaSa's not pulling any of his SCVs. He's going to lose a bunch of them if DRG decided to use the banelings, but he chooses not to. And that may have been on purpose, perhaps, because he doesn't want to lose his army. But I'm wondering here, DRG choosing not to blow up all of those. There they go, actually. I missed it right at the at that moment they go. Even these SCVs are down. The supply depots are getting to the red, and gonna lower them to get those SCVs in position to repair them, but one of them might go down if he's not careful. One on the high ground does go down, and DRG is not done. He's out for blood. 1-1 completed. Even more lanes are just flooding across the map, and with MaSa taking that forward base, this is not a safe base, so it's not going to be mining at all. And now DRG has an open way right into the base of MaSa, and he might even be able to end it right here. It's a really nice position here with the supply depot and the engineering bay, but DRG finds a way. He is going on through. These are 1-1 lings, mind you, but also it is the 1-1 bio of MaSa. Is DRG going to keep on doing this, or is he going to go and try to drone up that third a bit more? Looking like he's going to make 24 more lings, but he does have bailing speed on the way. Great thing that DRG did here is to force that third base from mining, just kind of making MaSa scramble. Usually MaSa would like to be in control, but that is not going to be happening this game. There's no medevac out on the map trying to get a drop going down. He's just fighting for his life. And, you know, I think MaSa, he held pretty well there. 31 SCVs were killed, though. 31 SCVs. That is a lot of SCVs, but if you look at that worker count, it is only 43 to 48 in DRG's favor, just by a little bit. So MaSa getting a little bit of action done on his side. He's able to finally do something, but he kills 2 creep turmers and just goes on back home. But that's going to be awkward. A big run by back again into the natural. And now the SCVs have to evacuate. But this is where they really want to evacuate, is it? Because if DRG makes a few more lings and gets a nice round, he would be able to get a lot of those units. But DRG going for the upgrade, something that you really don't see. I really like the style, delaying the mutas for so long as the Spire just goes down in order to get a lot of damage done. But on a map like Catalina, if you do delay those mutas, you're going to have to deal with drops eventually, and that is exactly what I assume MaSa will be doing at some point. Spire has started. +2/+2 is nearly completed here for DRG. But now MaSa is stabilized. Look at the supply, 100 to 98. That was kind of crazy and could have ended the game. But MaSa said, no, I will not die. He will live to fight another day, but the creep spread is almost already to his third. This is kind of crazy. Like, you take that third in order to be aggressive as a Terran player, but DRG took the third that is right there and then spreads creep towards there too. So is that going to hurt him in the end when MaSa starts to really get aggressive? There's a drop going on the left side of the map. MaSa needs to pay attention to this army, though. Going to lose 1 Marine, and he's dropping them individually to get rid of all of those banelings. Really smart move from MaSa at the expense of a few Marines. And here comes a drop into the main. That was the whole army of DRG for the most part, but no, he does have a few units here that are going to be able to clean this drop up, thanks to that Overlord that was able to spot it. MaSa is stabilizing just a bit. He is a little bit down in the SCV count, hasn't really been able to mine from the third, and now he might be regretting taking that base as DRG seems to be the one that wants to get aggressive this whole game. But here we go, MaSa. We're gonna go scan a few more of those, getting rid of that creep. Is MaSa gonna go in for a round 2 of the drop? He does go in, but he's a little bit scared of those 3 lings apparently. And this is the move that is gonna dictate the pace of the game. If this gets cleaned up completely, this could be bad news for MaSa, as the mutas are already on the way too. 6 are in production, and I think those are going to be the first 6 of the game. MaSa, 9 SCVs at his third base, at the 16-minute mark. Never a position you want to be in, for sure, as a Terran player. But his main is starting to mine out, so he could transfer a few of those at some point. I'm a little bit worried, though, as DRG has not taken a 4th base yet. He's just kind of relying on this push, all of this aggression. But he hasn't been able to actually break MaSa yet, so maybe he isn't in a bad position, MaSa, as he's kind of hanging out. DRG, though, going to be taking that 4th now, and MaSa has some breathing room. He has medevacs around the map. Even some burrowed banelings are right at the edge of the creep. And with these mutas, he may be able to force those marines to stim up there. And if he doesn't make it too obvious, then we may see a repeat of yesterday. Oh my god, it's actually at a location where he wouldn't scan most likely because that creep has already been taken out. The DRG is just going to go on in, and maybe on the retreat, he will be able to get those. Oh, Widow Mine hit, not going to really get too much. Second Widow Mine hit does get a lot. And unfortunately, well, fortunately, quote-unquote, for MaSa, it did get a bulk of his units. So he isn't going to run over the Baneling Mine just yet, but it is still there and it's still active, and he has no idea about it. Oh, going to get a scan here, but it's not even around the mines. Mutas are inside of the main, getting a little bit of damage done, but really there's not much here to kill except for the tech, if he does go for it. Then MaSa has almost equalized in supply. This is a really nice... I'm just really surprised despite that huge attack in the beginning. MaSa comes back in a way that he's able to keep on going toe-to-toe, dead even in the army supply. So a drop does lift off. I don't think it actually went over any overlords, but it will go over this ling. Another scan just to get rid of some of that creep, and DRG is dealing with this drop, at least in his head. But he does have to deal with this force and the ever-present MaSa, who is going to be right on his creep. Not because MaSa's pushing on it, just because the creep is actually right there in MaSa's face, but... Now, yeah, MaSa needs to be very careful with these units when he's dropping, as DRG's map vision is all right, at least for the point where he needed it to be. However, I feel like if MaSa were to not get spotted, he could do some good damage with the drop. The creep spread is really good so that the units can go back and forth in order to defend. And Catalina is a map that drops are very hard to defend against, so... Looking like, I like what MaSa's done here. Look at this little minefield that he's made in his third base. If DRG does push into that, he's going to be losing a lot of units unless he micros like a god around those Widow Mines. I mean, I don't, I know DRG is a player that is definitely capable of doing that. So we'll see if it actually goes to that point. But you know what? It might not, because DRG is going around the other side. Why go through the third when I can go where you are actually not even defended? But this one Widow Mine, oh my god, does DRG see it? Doesn't matter, because they're all going to get blown up. And now DRG is inside of the natural once again. MaSa has to rally all of his forces, but oh my god, there are so many lings, so many Banes inside of his natural. Going to be heading into the main very soon too. Not enough Banes to take out that supply depot though, so the lings are essentially useless. But a big drop going over to the 4th base of DRG too. While all of this is happening, the mutas are just wrecking pretty much everything inside of the natural of MaSa. And I think that this drop has been taken care of pretty much too. And I think DRG is getting the better hand of this, as he does get that command center at the 3rd base, or the 2nd base of MaSa. And still here at the 3rd base, there's a bunch of Widow Mines that just didn't get to really see much of the light of day. It could have been able to kill some of the reinforcements, which may have happened, but I didn't actually catch that, as I do see that their timer are just now resetting. So that means that they did shoot something. Don't know exactly what it was, but an issue that MaSa is facing right now is that he is deeply supply blocked. He's lost so many workers this game, 62, only to the 10 that have been killed by himself. And he's going to try to push here. I mean, the army supplies are not that different. I think MaSa is actually on 3-3. No, he's on 3-2. He doesn't have the armor upgrade, but he does have the attack upgrade. Widow Mine hit is going to hit a few units, but I don't even know if it's enough. That's actually not a lot from MaSa here, and that is a lot of Zerg coming out of DRG. One Thor is going to apparently tap out. Back here. game number 2 of the first match of the day. It's time to introduce the players if you don't know them already. It is your Season 2 champion representing Root. He's down 1 game. He's the Blue Terran. His name is MaSa. And his opponent, showing a massive amount of aggression last game. He is currently teamless. It is the Red Zerg player from Korea, Dongregu. He's pretty much adopted the DRG, almost like Marine King with MKP. But then Marine King changed teams. Smartly, DRG didn't make a 3-letter syllable that had to do with his team, so he can keep that name no matter where he goes. So we'll see. Hopefully, I would love to see him land a team. Another player in this group is Journey, and he was a guy that was teamless for a very long time, but he was really, really good. And I really would love to see DRG. You know, it hurts to see DRG teamless, and I know that he used to be on Invasion Esport, and I'm wondering who else is on it. I think of Gumiho, and I can't remember who else, but whatever reasons, they did part ways. Maybe DRG is going to be joining a Kespa team. You never know, but here we are on Overgrowth, and it looks pretty much the same for DRG at least. And MaSa, though, is going to switch it up as he does go for the barracks into expansion, but he is going to be making that Marine. He's already taken the gas, so he's going to go that Overlord hunting, and he's not going to get the first one just yet, but I don't even know if he's going to get any of them. DRG is maybe aware of the fact that there could be Marines out on the map, being very careful with his Overlord, not sending them just on the map. But that SCV can see the path of that Overlord, and if MaSa's feeling brave, he can go across the map and try to get it. But speed should be a little bit of the ways away, and I don't think that there's really much risk to moving your Marines around the map right now at this stage of the game. But yeah, because he did scout it, he was able to count the gas most likely. So MaSa, though, he's not going to actually do that just yet. He's just at the watchtower, checking to see if he sees an Overlord come into vision, and then maybe he'll go out and take it out. So we'll see. Speed is about a quarter of the way done, so MaSa is definitely safe to do that, if he would choose to. He has 2 Marines, so they will kill those Overlords pretty quickly. But at home, I think MaSa, setting up, getting that factory, already has the reactor done, and he's continuing to make a lot of Marines, so I always wonder when people do this if it is going to be that starport, maybe even a Marine medevac with the Hellbat kind of push. Because it's the potential to do that. You don't have to. Yeah, there we go. Armory coming down. And I think we're going to see a starport even come out. He may not even use a starport, actually. We'll see if he does do that. You can work off of 1 gas when you do this. And remember, he didn't have to make the Reaper. So he actually is very, very invested into tech as opposed to the units at this point. A lot of the units that are out are only minerals. I don't even think he will wait for the medevacs because that armory is almost done. And I think he's just going to go with the very early Marine Hellbat timing. DRG, what is he going to be doing here? He has a Spine Crawler. He's starting to mine the gas once again. And he has 2 Queens out and a 3rd Queen on the way too. So he saw the reactor on that. He didn't see any kind of Reaper coming, and he's going to assume that it is going to be some kind of very aggressive play. But a starport goes down right now. A Zergling might be able to get into the main, but no, it will get shut down before it gets up that ramp. And MaSa is going in right now. He's going to follow it up with some kind of Cloak Banshee play, perhaps. But if we see Stim started here, then we'll know that it's Stim, and he's just going to go into Bio. But if he switches the starport, then we will see that Cloak Banshee follow-up. But, I mean, I don't think that he's going to be able to break this. DRG is ready to hold this pretty easily. If MaSa would have pushed into there, especially without any medevacs, I just don't see him getting through it. 4 Queens, a Spine Crawler, and Lings. Even the creep spread is actually spread out really nice, so DRG has a great idea exactly where they are, and already a unit going down there. I believe it was a Hellbat. DRG is actually pushing with his Queens. He's the one pushing the issue at this point. MaSa just going to probably save these units for another day. I mean, going in there, once you throw those units away, pretty much everything that you've done to get to this point is thrown away too. Because you're trying to get damage done. But if you don't get any damage done and then you lose the units, that's pretty much it. So he'll save it, wait for those medevacs to come out, maybe even the Banshee, as he does have 1 on the way. Cloak is here. DRG knows exactly what's happening, and he even sees the command center timing and the timing of the 2nd gas. So I'm surprised that we are seeing Cloak with this Banshee. to be honest, as it has been scouted so early. And he is only working off of one gas. DRG getting very aggressive here. He's going to be targeting the building bunker, which can't be repaired just yet. MaSa needs to react very quickly here, and it will all right into the maw of all of those Hellions. That did transform from the Hellbats. Good on him to get on home as fast as possible. But DRG is playing this so safe right now. He's taking his third right now, and decided not to take it very early like he did last game. He played it very greedy last game. But I would say standard. But standard Zerg is greedy for the most part. So here comes MaSa on the other side. This does have a Banshee with it. That third base is not done yet, so the Queens are going to have a little bit trouble maneuvering. They do have transfuses each. I think 2 of them. Oh, no. Well, 2 in total. One of them is going to have 2 soon. But MaSa, if he's able to cancel this third, even going home after it would be a victory for him. He's going to have to split his units here, and he's doing so pretty well, as he does focus down those Queens with the Banshee. The Banshees are actually not getting focused down just yet, and now they will be. Lings are trying to get damage done, but they're getting roasted by the Hellbats. And with some good control, MaSa's going to be able to take out all of these Lings, as well as the Queen, perhaps. And if he cancels his third base, he has a third of his own on the way, too. Mutas are coming, though, so MaSa needs to make something happen. Can he get the Queen? The Queen goes down, and now he needs to focus on this hatchery. If he goes in for the kill, he might get a few drones, but he will lose everything, and may force, or at least run the risk of having a Zerg be on 3 bases and not really taking too much out on his own. Here come the Mutas, though, and with the help of some Broodlings, we'll be able to take out everything here, but the third has gone down. And MaSa, I don't know if that's what he wanted to do with that push, but it seems like I would be happy if that was what happened. We have a pretty even supply. Even the units lost here, favoring MaSa so heavily at the moment. He has a third of his own, doesn't even need to mine from it yet to have an advantage. And he's set up. He has Widow Mines burrowed in very sneaky locations, and, you know, there's a turret here that will be able to protect the production structures. And even though there's not one in the main, the way that they are set up would deter Mutas from flying in. So he's trying to set them up in a way that doesn't happen. But DRG is trying to find some damage to do. What will he invest all of his money into? It looks like going to be a big Baneling bust. MaSa doesn't know about this yet, and there's only one bunker. There are 2 Widow Mines that are placed here, but they are not in range of the bunker. MaSa's actually about to move out. Oh, is he putting the Widow Mines just there? Gonna see, oh, the Changeling is gonna spot this. And with the help of an Overseer, which I don't believe is out. Oh yeah, there's an Overseer out. So there we go, Widow Mine wasting their shots. At least one of them, but here come the Mutas. This may be a trap. I think this may be a trap here from DRG. Going to be going in with a lot of these Lings and Banes. And, oh my god, is it going to happen? Oh, Widow Mine, actually, the Mutas are going to take the hit. And now MaSa, is he going to lift up? He has to be very careful because the Mutas are there. Banelings are crashing on through into the natural, and they're going to get in. Widow Mine hit's going to get one big group of the Banelings, but here comes everything else. And now these SCVs are going to try to evacuate. They might even want to participate in the fight right now. Because I don't even know if he realizes that DRG is investing so much in this, and he is trying to get damage done. If DRG tried to just macro out of it, I feel like MaSa would have out-macroed him, but... Oh, another Widow Mine hit. Not the biggest of Widow Mine hits, but did what they needed to be done. And it looks like he is going to take his third. MaSa maintaining the supply lead. DRG losing a lot of his Mutalisks. I think he lost 9. He lost all of them there, for the most part. So things aren't looking too great here for our Korean Zerg player at all, as he hasn't droned up his third base, and MaSa, sitting on a few extra SCVs at his natural, will be able to transfer them over to that third base. And yeah, he's setting up to be really nice right now. What is DRG's move? Is he going to just try to Ling Bling here? Because he's down in upgrades. He just now started 1-1. MaSa has just begun 2-2. So I think this is actually one of the best situations that MaSa could have found himself into, especially being down a game in this best-of-3 series. So he may be able to bring this one back. Not trying to count the chickens too early here, but, you know, DRG has kind of done a few things here where he's tried to get the best of MaSa, but MaSa's not going to get fooled twice. He was able to hold that pretty well. I mean, he held it well in game 1, but he took a lot of damage as a result of it. But now it is MaSa who will be able to be putting on the pressure, as he is on the map. There's not a lot of Mutas. Imagine if there were 9 more Mutas with this. This would be a little bit more of a scarier flock. And one of the best things about Mutas is the fact that when you stack them up to a very high number, you can start to one-shot Medivacs, you can one-shot Widow Mines, even turrets. defenses at the third and the natural and the main wouldn't be as much. But now there's really not that many mutas here, and he's really working off of a very limited economy. So that third base just got saturated not too long ago. He's at 68 drones, and if MaSa puts on some pressure here, he may not be able to keep up with the production. But MaSa, looking like he wants to play the attention game, the attention-grabbing game, by using drops to divert DRG's attention. I don't know if he went for Burrow this game, though, but these Banelings are going to be spotted, but the Banelings also are going to spot the drop. So who's that really better for? The mutas are going to go and deal with it, but that gives MaSa an opportunity to go ahead and push onto this creep. Is he really going to go for the rocks here? Or I was wondering if he was going to do that, but I don't know if that would actually be for his benefit. This drop is going to get cleaned up relatively easily, and I don't think he realizes how much of a great position he is in. He needs to go just clear the creep up, continue to macro away, get his upgrades underway too. Doesn't have to force anything right now. And if he loses these drops and he doesn't really get anything done, then that kind of overwhelming advantage is going to go down the drain. Anytime you do a drop like that, you do want to get something else done on the other side of the map. And he wasn't really successful in that one in the main. So MaSa playing it a bit more patient. And I think he may be a little nervous. You know, he is up against DRG, Dongregu, and you may think that he's not really that far ahead, but at this point in time, he definitely is, not only in the army department, but also in the upgrade too. So DRG setting up a big attack at the third base. Here come the Banelings. MaSa's army is way out of position. Oh, Widowmine gonna go down, actually taking down the units that were in the bunker, but the Banelings are gonna go and take out so many SCVs. 32 have been killed already in total. DRG is happy with that trade, apparently, as he does go on home. But I believe there is a drop going down at the third of DRG as well. He is going to have to deal with that one, and MaSa is going to push on back. He may have been able to check the upgrades of DRG, seeing how low they were, and now he feels the confident in order to push out onto the map. Finally found a little bit of a hole in DRG's armor as he was able to get to that third base, force mining to be stopped. And now he gets in position onto the map. He had a little bit of some scanning here, killing a lot of the creep tumors, and with some good splits and Widowmine placements, he should be able to do some good damage here. Oh man, here they come though. The Banelings aren't gonna get the best hits. Widowmines are a little bit late. Are they gonna hit the mutas is what they hit. And now, looks like DRG is on the retreat for a little bit. This fourth base is under fire. DRG wants to save it so bad because MaSa is on 3 bases himself. Banelings don't really even know what to do with themselves. And with that concussive shell, he's going to be stopping them. Another good split, and a Widowmine hit is going to be able to get rid of all of those Banelings. And now GG will be called. MaSa is able to tie it up, bringing it to a 1-1 series. Welcome back here to the ASL Prime League Season 4. This match decides who goes on to the winner's match and who goes on to the loser's match, and we'll find out at the end of it. Here we go, a TVZ here for you, spawning here on Vani Research Station, representing himself as well as all of Korea. It is the Red Zerg DRG. And his opponent, he carries all of Canada on his back. It is Root's own MaSa, the Blue Terran player. And in the world of DRG, he sees a reason to go for a very aggressive opener here, maybe expecting a CC first, and oh my god, no freaking way. MaSa going for that CC first here, and DRG going for a 14-14. The only question I ask is it going to be a full-on 14-14 with Banelings as well, or is it going to be just the Ling attack? If it is the Ling attack, then I do worry a bit if MaSa's able to get that supply depot down in time. I don't know if you actually get it as a part of the build, straight up, because the extra supply from the command center, but I'm wondering if he is going to drop it down. I think that you still do. I don't play Terran like that, but I'm wondering how he is going to approach this. How much of a need does he have to get a wall off? Like, in his head, how is he thinking at the moment? So, excuse me, with this gas already still mining, speed is already on the way. Yep, and there goes the Baneling nest. It's going to be a straight-up 14-14 Baneling bust. And this could be pretty devastating. MaSa's really not going to have anything at home. The only thing that he'll have going for him is the kind of same philosophy we always say when Terran is on 3 command centers, and is the fact that they will have double mule. So if they're able to stabilize, I think the factory should come next very shortly. And we'll see if DRG focuses down the factory with his Lings while it's building. And not even allow MaSa to get any of those Hellions out. Because Hellions are really what help you deal with the Lings. You're able to use your SCVs as a buffer. And then the Hellions will be able to get the splash damage that get rid of Lings so easily. MaSa has not sent out a scout yet at all. He has no idea about this. DRG is playing the perfect build here for what MaSa is doing. He hasn't even finished up the wall yet. And he also, did he make a second supply depot? I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, he's just kind of using the supply of the orbital command in order to do this. And now, is it finally going to go down? So it's not going to be complete, but the banelings are already done here. Oh my god, I do fear for MaSa's life at the moment, as he is making a really cool wall at the moment, but it's not going to be enough. Here go the banelings, going to go ahead, take out that depot that was building, and there's a hole in between the barracks and the factory, actually. So 2 more banelings do remain. He actually uses one a little bit preemptively. Is he going to actually go right for these SCVs, or is he just going to use the Lings? I think he's going to strategically use that Baneling in the face of the SCVs. Very strategic right there, if that's what you want to call it. And down goes everything, as well as MaSa's chances of going to that winner's match. And DRG taking a swift game number 3 on Viney Research Station, a map that you may not even expect that kind of aggression because of that early base that you're able to take so easily.